Hey, I want to do a little video today on how court proceedings work and on what basis they work. Because I just find for myself that the more I understand how our legal system works, the less fear I have of it. And the less fear you have, the more empowered you are. So I'm going to use a very simple illustration. I'm going to start by talking about a traffic ticket. So let's say you're going 20K over the speed limit and you get a traffic violation ticket for $100. When you, and then let's say you decide you're not going to pay it, you're going to take it to court. So the traffic ticket itself is a security. It's drawn on your registration of live birth trust, your Sedekavy trust. I think by now almost everybody knows what those are. Now, but when you go into court, that is the court case itself is also a security. And that court case is worth a lot more than $100. The court case itself is a security, and it is worth, honestly, I've never heard an exact figure, but they say a few million. So the minute you step into a courtroom, if you've ever been to court, you're going to notice they never ask you to sign anything when you walk in. You don't have to show any ID or anything like that. The reason for that is that when you go forward to state your defense or whatever, they want you to state your name for the record. When you state your name, that is the equivalent of giving your signature. So when you state your name, you have authorized the court to access your Sedekavy trust and pull out $2-3 million just for appearing in court. And that doesn't matter what the verdict is, whether you are proven guilty or innocent. The court still goes, the judge can access your Sedekavy trust and pull out several $1 million because the court case is a security. Now, if you go into court knowing who you are and you tell the judge, for example, that you are not the person, Sonia Wiebe, I'm simply here to represent the person, and you never once waver from that, and you do not ever acknowledge to the judge or admit to the judge that you are the person that the traffic ticket was made out to, then what happens is that security still has to be paid. The funds still have to be supplied, those several $1 million. So do you know where that comes from then? If you don't acknowledge your name in court, that money then has to come from the judge's insurance bond. So if that happens one time, if you go into court one time and you refuse to give the judge your verbal statement that you are the person, Sonia Wiebe, then the judge has to cough up the however many $1 million it is. After that, they are going to put a note. There's going to be a note on your file with the courts that the judge doesn't ever, ever, ever want this woman brought into his courtroom again, because every time she walks in, it costs him a whole schwack of money. So if you can establish that with a simple traffic violation ticket, then basically all of your life's problems are solved. Because let's say you don't pay, let's say you've established that in court with a traffic violation ticket. Then let's say down the road you decide you're not going to pay your property tax. So, okay, so the big threat when you don't pay your property tax is that the rural municipality is going to put a lien on your place. The rural municipality can't just up and file a lien by themselves. They have to, or their law firm most likely, has to apply to the court for a lien to get permission to put a lien on your place. Okay, so the lawyer goes to the judge at the Court of King's Bench and says that they want to put a lien on your particular property. The judge goes into your records before he just up and signs off on the lien, and he says absolutely not. If he sees that you've been in his courtroom before and it's cost him money, he'll say absolutely not. I am not issuing a lien, because every time a judge issues a lien, a court order, a notice of seizure, a notice of foreclosure, anything like that, the person who it's been issued to has the right to file an objection or a notice of defense. You can always appear in court and try to argue that. So the judge never, ever, ever wants you to be in a position where you're going to walk into his courtroom ever again. So if you've established that once with a traffic ticket, the RM will not get a judge's permission to file a lien on your property. Same thing if you stop making your vehicle payments. Your bank's lawyer will probably apply to the Court of King's Bench for a notice of seizure, to issue you a notice of seizure. If you have your name on file as somebody who knows who you are, you're not the person, and you won't verbally acknowledge that you're the person, the judge will not let the bank, he will not issue a notice of seizure for the bank. Same thing if you stop making your mortgage payments. The bank can get, their law firm can go to the court and ask for a notice of foreclosure. The judge will not give them one. Everything is like that. Nobody can take anything from you without a judge's permission, without a judge's court order. And if you have established standing with a judge even once in your life, that's how you can beat them on all fronts. I hope this helps.